I am calling it. It's over. There is no such thing as a recovery from the HCU. I've seen enough. Well, actually, I haven't seen anything. That's exactly why I'm calling it. I've got a theory that you cannot recover from the HCU if you were hit 50% or more. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this video. If you don't know already, my name is Rob. I'm just some average guy from the Midwest who learned how to blog, learned a little bit about SEO over the last couple of years, and did pretty well on his website, earned almost 500,000 clicks over just the last 12 months as a non-SEO smarty pants, not a whiz kid, just a hard worker. Then the Google algorithms went crazy at the end of 2023 and squashed all of that. But this channel is all about being regular dudes, regular ladies who like to blog. If you're a hard worker, if all this stuff is in your wheelhouse and you want to just hear, talk, discuss about blogging, hit subscribe, hit like, let's get into it. So I've been looking hard trying to find a single example of a website that lost like 70% of its traffic or more and got that traffic back after the HCU, and I can't find it. I'm looking, I can't see everything, but I'm all over Twitter and I don't see anything on there. Now, I do see quote unquote recoveries, but when I look at the traffic, those were like 20% losses, maybe 30% tops. Like, that's just a dip. If you want to see a website that got hurt and destroyed, mine lost up to 95% of its traffic at one point. I went from having about 1,400 clicks a day down to under 100 a day, which every time that I say that, it hurts just a little bit more. So I just don't think that there is such a thing right now. So many people are trying so many different things, especially like those first couple of months after the HCU come out. It was like, well, what are we doing? I was doing it. What am I doing to try to get this traffic back? Here's what I'm doing to my website. And I just haven't seen, even from people way smarter than me, which isn't hard, I'm not seeing a single recovery story about that. So I'm ready to say it's over. It's done. Now, I'm not saying that your traffic isn't going to come back. I'm just saying that I don't believe that there is anything you can do, like a fix, a tweak. I'm going to do this thing, and maybe my traffic is going to come back. I just don't think that's the case. I think we're beyond that, or else we would have seen one. We would have seen one example of that happening. Now, what I do think is very possible, and maybe even probable a little bit, is that rankings have an opportunity to return only whenever Google figures out their algorithm and fixes the problems. And I specifically am talking about like spam right now. Spam is a major problem with the new updates. If you're anywhere on Twitter, you'll see some of the smartest people in the SEO space talking about like, what's the deal with all of the spam? It's insane. Meanwhile, Google's got their head in the sand and they're putting out updates about like things unrelated. I think that they should fire the newsletter staff and move them over to the Stop the Spam staff. Like, let's bolster that team a little bit. Less newsletters and less spam. No, it's too hard. But that's, I think, what's going to end up happening is that Google is going to eventually figure out their spam issue, probably through another update that's coming. They won't admit that. In fact, I'm really not seeing anywhere where Google's like, yeah, we recognize there's a problem, but they know there's a problem. We know that there's a problem. So we'll probably see an update. And when that happens, then I think we're going to see at least an opportunity there for some of that traffic to return. But that's the only way. It's going to be because Google starts sorting out the nonsense that hasn't occurred since all of these updates rolled out. It's not going to be because I had changed my keywords or made something more concise or something. You might have an article that pops for a little bit, but like, again, and look, hey, I would love to be wrong. If any of you have experienced a 70% drop and you got that traffic back or even close to it and it was from the HCU, please leave a comment down below so I can see it. But I'm just not seeing a single piece of evidence, one single example of that happening. Okay, so then what am I supposed to do? If I can't do anything to get my traffic back, if I have essentially lost control of right now, what am I supposed to keep? Here's what I'm doing, and I don't care what you do. Do what makes you happy. I had a friend that used to say, do what you got to do to be you. And so, but what I'm doing to be me is I'm kind of staying on the same path that I was. I don't know why Google slammed me 95% of my traffic. I don't know why they put a qualifier on my site. I felt like I had the experience, the expertise, the authoritativeness. I'm not Forbes, but I'm out there working still, and the trustworthiness. Like I had a lot of what they were looking for, and I still got hit. And there's not a lot I can do about that. I can't figure out what it is. I don't think any of us can quite tell. So I'm just trying to make my website better. I'm trying to make my articles better. I'm basically disregarding the thought process of ranking. Like I've kind of given up on the ranking part of it, and now I'm just trying to write good articles for the sake of having a good website. I'm trying to build a brand. I'm trying to expand what I'm doing within my brand to try to make a good brand and sort of not worrying about the rankings. And maybe that's the whole point of this thing. Maybe that's the whole point is like, because look, almost everything that I did for my website was with the intention and purpose of ranking. Like everything that I wrote, the way that I wrote was for the hopes of ranking an article. Because before that, I had tried to write just good articles. Several years ago, I was like, I just want to write interesting articles that I think are good. But Google didn't care about those. They didn't care whatsoever. So I realized, oh, well, SEO is telling me that I should do this, optimize your articles. And all of a sudden, articles start ranking whenever I started writing what Google wanted to rank. Well, it seems like obviously those rules have changed. So I've kind of gone back to my basics, which is I'm just going to write good articles that I think bolster the brand, that create authoritativeness, that create trustworthiness, and demonstrate expertise and experience. And so if things turn around eventually, it's not going to be because there was a reversal. It'll just be because the way that Google has changed the landscape is now a place where I can plant my little website seeds and they'll actually sprout. Whereas right now, I'm dropping seeds all over the place and some a-hole bird's coming and eating them before they have a chance to actually grow into anything. That bird being Google algorithms and Google updates. Thank you, almighty bird. So I just want to kind of touch base with you all about some of this stuff that I've been thinking over the past couple of days. The fact that we're just not seeing an example, I think I'm just to the point where I've moved past that. That doesn't mean that I'm not still, again, not trying to optimize my site to make it the best it can be. I'm just sort of not doing it with the mindset anymore of like, let's do this to rank stuff. I'm just trying to build a good site, and we'll see where that takes us. So that's it. Thanks y'all so much for watching. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. If you like listening to a regular dude ramble about blogging, and you want to talk about blogging with me in the comments below, subscribe, hit like. That's it. We'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.